Have you ever had that, oh, I just barely ate, but I'm starving? When you eat carbs alone, they digest quickly and blood sugar rises fast. And that is when your hunger returns. If hunger is the reason you keep quitting your diet or don't want to start your diet in the first place, I have one fix that can change your dieting life forever. The problem with dieting is that our bodies think that this fat stuff around all of us is precious. That fat is the thing that our bodies thinks keeps it alive, when in the contrary, fat is one of the most unhealthy things that we can carry around with us. The reason our bodies thinks fat is so important is because for hundreds of years, food would have been very hard to come by. And so our bodies adapt, and when we could get food, we would eat as much as we possibly could, and then we would store that extra energy as fat. And then when food didn't come around for a week or so, we still survived. Obviously, the problem with that nowadays is that food is not scarce for most of us. When you can walk into a Taco Bell and get 16 burritos for a nickel, our body is not gonna let that energy go to waste. A very important key here is that your body is fighting against you when you want to lose weight. And if you struggle, you don't have to feel weak. You don't have to feel like a failure. Your body is literally trying to fight you to keep that fat on you. You're like, yo, body, let's be healthy. And your body's like, yo, dude, we don't want to die. And you're like, it's okay, we're not gonna die. Dude, I can feel us dying. Don't you realize what happens to people who don't have fat? And you're like, bro, you're so yesterday. You don't get it, do you? So please, don't feel like a failure. Don't feel like you just don't have the motivation to lose weight. You literally have hundreds of years working against you. But luckily, we have one micronutrient here for the rescue. What I want to talk about today to make dieting so much easier is protein. Hold on, if you think you know everything about protein and it's just the macronutrient that's going to help you build muscle, you're wrong. You're not wrong when it's gonna help you build muscle. Obviously, it's the most important thing when it comes to building muscle. But there may be so much more benefits to protein that you did not even know, and I'm gonna explain those today. The reason that protein makes dieting so much easier is because protein is the most satiating macronutrient out there. Now, I'm gonna explain 3 reasons. Why is protein the most satiating macro? Reason number 1, protein directly tells your brain that you are full now. Protein does this through hormones. When you eat protein, your gut releases hormones that tell your brain, hey, we're good. Namely, PYY, GLP-1, and CCK. These hormones slow your stomach down from just releasing. They reduce your appetite, and what's crazy is that they make it so that you want to eat less for your next meal. Now, before we move on to reason number 2, have you ever heard of TEF, the thermic effect of food? This is a way that protein actually allows you to eat more calories, and I'm gonna talk to you more about it at the end of the video. Now, reason number 2, protein stabilizes blood sugars and helps reduce blood sugar crashes. We all know that carbs kind of get a bad rap, but I'm here to tell you that carbs are great. I'm a big fan of carbs. Not only are they absolutely delicious, they can help you in your dieting, weightlifting, and even your fat loss goals. The problem isn't carbs. The problem is carbs without protein. When you eat carbs alone, they digest quickly and blood sugar rises fast. Your insulin spikes and your blood sugar drops. And that is when your hunger returns. Have you ever had that, oh, I just barely ate, but I'm starving? You know, like after a bunch of chow mein and rice, or kind of what happens to me. Well, this is exactly what I'm talking about, and protein helps prevent that. So protein blunts the spike, reduces the crash, and smooths energy levels. If you want to test this for yourself, go ahead and eat a bowl of oatmeal tomorrow for breakfast. Throw some honey or some sugar in it, or brown sugar, whatever you like. I'm betting it doesn't keep you full for longer than 2 hours. Now take that same amount of oats and add a scoop of protein in it. Better yet, even some fiber like an apple with it. I guarantee you that bowl is gonna keep you full a lot longer. And now for reason number 3, protein digests slower. I think it's probably easier for you to see that if food is in your stomach, you're not as hungry. Well, protein stays in your stomach longer because it takes longer for your stomach to break down. So that's the difference between a nice big old chicken breast and some chips. Those chips, they go in your stomach's like, boom, goodbye. That chicken's like, plop, and your stomach's like, oh, okay, this is gonna take some work. And it stays there, 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 and it keeps you full longer until finally it's gone. And that 3rd reason is what brings us to TEF, the thermic effect of food. Now, did you notice that when that big old chunk of chicken plopped in your belly's like, okay, this is gonna take some work. work. What does work do? Work burns calories. This is one of the most awesome things about protein is that you're actually burning calories while you're eating. Now, don't go ahead and take that as in like protein's negative calories or protein is just gonna half your calories or something like that, because it's not like that. However, it can make a very big difference over time. For the average person, it could add up to an additional 200 calories burned every single day. If you've been paying attention and doing your research, you know that 200 calories is not gonna make or break your diet. It's not gonna make you skinny. And I wouldn't even consider it when you're counting your calories for the day. I'm not gonna be like, okay, so I ate this much protein, so that means I get to eat this much more calories because that protein burned somehow. That protein did somehow burn. However, just let it add. Just let it add to your deficit. It's going to add up over time. On the upper end, for someone who eats a ton of food and a ton of protein, those calories could add up to 500 plus per day calories burned just by digesting that protein. Again, one pizza slice is gonna delete that 500 calories just like that. But over a week's time, a month's time, a year's time of eating protein like that, do you know how many extra calories that is burned? It takes about 3,500 calories to burn 1 pound of fat. And so if you do the math, 500 in 7 days is 1 extra pound in 1 week. 4 in a month. 52 pounds of fat in 1 year just from the thermic effect of food. Again, on the much higher end. But I really want to emphasize that thermic effect of food and how powerful it can be over a long period of time. For the regular person, yeah, you're not really gonna be looking at 52 pounds of fat in a year just from eating protein, but you could be looking at 20 extra from literally doing nothing except for eating to lose weight. It just blows my mind. And the best part about this, as awesome as the thermic effect of food is, it's the smallest part of everything that I've talked to you about today. Eating protein just simply makes you eat less on accident. People who eat a large amount of protein per day and they don't even track their calories, they accidentally just eat less calories every single day as long as they're trying to get as much protein as possible. So if you can make your diet so much easier simply by just eating protein, making it so much easier to stick to long term, and by the way, protein is delicious. I mean, have you ever had a perfectly grilled chicken thigh that's just been marinating in some delicious seasonings and some steak and some... I'm getting hungry just thinking about this. Or some eggs, topped with some tomatoes and some salt, pepper, a little Cholula sauce, a slice of bread. I think I need to end the video and go eat. The last things I want to say is that you are not weak if you have a hard time dieting. Start eating some more protein and see if it makes it easier for you. The very best diet, and I didn't make this up, is the one that you can stick to.